Alright, so just a little video on these frame rails, Dynacorn front frame rails. Let's see. So they look pretty solid. And like most of the spot welded stuff, you gotta watch out for sharp little spot weld flash. That's pretty sharp. So it's nice thick metal. I'll get my thickness gauge in a minute and measure. It's got the bumper bracket nuts welded in, and also these for the cross member, and for your front end stuff here, tie rod end or pitman arm, that kind of stuff. This is the left one because it's got a L laser cut into the sway bar bracket. You can see how they spot welded it along, all the way along. Of course, got the holes for your steering box. There's a L here as well. And here's for your, I know one's if you had a clutch for your Z-bar mount pivot thing. Forget what the other one's for. Anyway, maybe it's not used. And one thing, I'll just see, I noticed in another video that the front firewall comes forward more than on the driver's side than on the passenger side, so the angles are a little different, and the shape, that kind of thing. And kind of like the rear frame rails, they have holes here that aren't on the originals, I don't think, but we'll see what we can do with that. Might not be a big deal. Anyway, let's get our measurement gauge out, and oh, actually, just get out our tape measure for now. So right from the front to the first bumper bracket bolt hole, so the middle of it is I'm thinking 3 7/8, something like that, or 13/16 maybe. See what you guys think. Anyway, on down the line, so about 10 3/8. And some other holes here. I'm not sure what they're for, the little guys. Let's get an overall length. It's kind of weird because it's a weird shape, you know, so let's do overall length from the front to the tip of this flange. Well, it's 47 1/4 on the inside, and kind of see what other measurements would be useful. Is maybe from here to the back, just from this point. So that is 11 well, it's kind of bumpy, so 11 we'll call it 3/4 when it really starts to turn. 11 1/2, it's still flat. And let's have a look. This flange is 6.5 inches long. And what else we got? Oh yeah, okay. Let's measure on the bottom. Your whole front oval hole here starts at 3 inches and goes to 4 3/8, I'd say. It's got kind of a second one on the inside, second layer, so it's a little slightly less. Maybe 4 8, 9. No, sorry, 4 and anyway, a little over 4 1/4. 2 8, maybe 3 16ths or so. Anyway, we figured. And here come your. You can kind of parallel over and see these holes for the front sway bar, like 15 1/4, 17 3/4, and then this is probably kind of important, 26 3/4 to the center of the hole for the cross member. Let's roll it over. So it's a little trickier here because the end is rounded, but you're looking at like we'll say 21 5/8 for the first hole here, and then 26 1/4 for the second. Your bottom hole here, 35 1/2, and you can kind of sight along the top one, probably 34 3/8, something like that, 34 1/4. And this big oval hole here, just a bit over 38 1/2. And yeah, let's have a look inside. What thing is it's got those brackety things, but I think we'll need a couple of washers to fill that gap a bit. Yeah. I don't have calipers, but hold on. Let me put on the light. Alright, right off the top, to these welded in bolts. So the first one, so 37 9/16, I'd say. Second one is more like 30 to 3/8. And the last one, you know, maybe 40 and 15/16. It's just under 41 inches. All right, so looking at from the front of the frame rail, we're at about 3 13/16 on that one. And here we got 10, I'd say 10 3/8. And then to your top hole, first of the 4 bolt holes, 33 and a half. And then this one looks about 37 7/8. This guy here. Yeah. And to the top of this, 46 1/4. The top of this flange. Alright, from the end of the rail here is like 11 and a half before it starts to swing up. Let's have a look at the oval hole here. Yeah, it starts, well, 2 and 15/16, just under 3 inches on the first. Ends at 4 1/4. And then if you keep going on down here, right around 26 3/4 is the middle of the cross member bolt hole. And I'm just gonna hold this straight. So 3/8 1/4 for this hole here, and 35 1/4 for this other one for your suspension stuff. Alright, let's grab the thickness gauge. Oh yeah, sorry. And for your sway bar stuff, well, I guess 15 3/8 and 18 inches. Oh, sorry, try that again. Yeah, 15, just a little over 15 1/4. So that's like 15 5/16. And 12, maybe 13/16. 17 inches, 13/16 for the second hole. Alright, now we're looking at the end of the rail. So 2 7/8 tall, and maybe 2 3/16 from the inside of the flange. So 2 1/4, I guess, from the outside. And the other rail is, yeah, 2 and 13/16. And then just, yeah, pretty well the same, 2 and 3/16. And then 2 1/4 from the other side of that flange. Alright, so for metal thickness, just look here. So it's a little over 14. Well, there's kind of stuck on there. 14 gauge. And this guy as well. Well, there's 1/8. There's no 12 gauge on this gauge, but I think 1/8 is a little bit bigger than 12. So anyway, this is thicker than 14. but not by much. Let's see if we get a better look. Yeah, you know, it's making me think it's 12 gauge. And the bracket for the sway bar is 1/8 inch. Let's see if this will show us any different. Yeah, so yeah, it's pretty thick stuff. Oh yeah, I guess it is 14, because it's you can wedge that on there. Anyway, that's what you're looking at. And yeah, get one of these. It might be a little thicker when it gets stamped, or you know. All right. Yeah, so anyway, hope that helps if you're thinking about getting these frame rails. They look pretty solid, and not a lot of other options out there, so they look pretty good.